Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. This is another episode right here on Mzansi Unfiltered. It's a late night show, but we have to talk. I definitely wanted to have a quick session with you guys so we can go over, first of all, court is finally coming back into session. Today is the 18th of May, 2025. But tomorrow is Inside Pagati. You know what day it is? The 19th of May, 2025. Omnisi Wembula has read the record. He has confirmed he has read the record. And he will be inside Pagati cross-examining the Brigadier Bongani Nicholas Kininda. But let me tell you something. It's going to be a showdown. I can already predict that because somebody tell me why. Why was an officer, a lone ranger, all on his own at night at exactly 00:15 hours in the morning? Okay, that time is so specific. Why was it not 00:13? Why was it not 00:14? Why did it have to be such a memorable time, 00:15? And he was out there with the Senzo Meiwa documents in his vehicle and all the other things, his firearm, his live ammunition. What else was there? His everything. And then he got rear-ended. He was rear-ended. And after being rear-ended, he said, "You know what? Let me come out of the car. I'm all by myself. I'm Braveheart. I'm going to come out of the car, and I'm going to investigate this all by myself." Surprise, surprise, he was overpowered, of course, by three Mkulugutus who he cannot describe, except that they were three African males. Okay. That's, I don't know, 3/4 of the South African population. If you're a male, you're an automatic suspect. Tell us more about these three African males. Were they Zulu? Were they Xhosa? Were they Swati? Were they Tswana? What exactly can you tell? I'm sure they said one or two words. Were they Zimbabwean? Were they from Nigeria? What exactly were they? Mzansi, welcome back. Please remember to go ahead and like this video. Come right in, like the video. But let me go ahead and give a few shout outs right now. Dan is here in the building. Hello, Dan. Thank you for joining us again. And he says, "Oh yes, Mzansi Unfiltered. We are back, fam. We are back. Yes. We are surely back. Angela is here as well. And he says, let's go. That's right. David says, hello, Mkulugutus. I'm in the house. Shout out to them Mkulugutus because they are multiplying, okay? The Mkulugutus are just multiplying and unprovoked, We're just out here minding our business, checking out other trials, visiting the Mbenengwe case, and then jiggy. Crime Watcher says, you've got to know something. Something is happening in the background, and let me bring this to the forefront to the nation and let them know that this is what is happening on these golf course streets. It's an intersection. There's a golf course Nyana right there, and they just happen to be there. How did them Gulugutus know to be there? And only that vehicle, only that one. No other Gulugutus were driving past the golf course. And then they rear-end him. And of course, it was a Nissan Almera. Someone said in my comment section, they really love the Nissan Almera, don't they? It was a whole Nissan Almera. Unfortunately, our Lone Ranger does not have a photographic memory. He doesn't know the registration number. So we're looking for three African males. So that's all African males. There's no age range, okay? We don't know what age group they are. So let's just say all African males to the front of the building, okay? We don't know what tribe or language they speak. And then now in the process of elimination, it's three African males who were inside Pagati within a Nissan Almera who had the nerve to rear-end a South African Police Services vehicle. And then he steps out. This is how I imagine it. It's really dark. Or maybe in a golf course area, there's lots of lights. I don't know. You know what? We should Google Maps, see this exact location. But I'll leave that to Njabs. Okay, Njabs, I'm sure he's working out an AVL route for us. So the Lone Ranger, where was he going? where was this Lone Ranger going? That, you see, that's the problem with this story. And I wish that next time, shout out to the story writers, run it past us, okay? Just give us a brief intro and say, can you look through this? We'll give you a few stacks and look through this and poke holes in this story. Help us make this story make sense. Because where was this Lone Ranger going? Why was he alone? And the $1,000,000 question, why did he have copies of the Senzo Meyiwa trial with him? But that's not a surprise. If we really, really think about it, it is not a surprise. I mean, we do have a particular high up individual, well decorated. He's been on the screens, on a couple of cases right now. Not Fanny Masemola. No, not him. No, the other one. He's been on our screens. But before he became this high ranking individual, he was inside Phakathi within when Zumu was giving the account of his event. But the problem with that is that he was inside Phakathi as a civilian. What do you mean you were inside Phakathi? Why is no one questioning that? Why is that being said in a court of law and my lord just sits there and takes notes? Why was he there? You see, this is why Advocate Ngome Zulu said he was going to call him to the stand. I imagine this is one of the questions Ngome Zulu was going to ask. But you see, if we look at the lineup of the remaining advocates, because you know that Legal Aid made sure there's no brand new characters joining the cast of this South Africa is a Movie Senzo Meyiwa trial. We have Advocate Mnisi, we have Ramsipili, we have Uzithulele Nxumalo, and we also have Umshololo featuring, okay? With guest feature Myegi comes in and out, okay? Drop a 2 in the comment section if you think Umshololo is going to be in the courtroom tomorrow, because think about it. I mean, if we look at the pattern of Umsholo, we need Umshololo in the room. This is our appeal as members of the public, Umshololo, to catch that flight tomorrow morning and be inside Phakathi within the courtroom, because there's something about Umshololo you've got to credit her. First of all, shout out to being the only female advocate in the courtroom, and she's holding the fort, okay? She's standing her ground, and she can hold herself, okay? But here's the thing. I think she's the strongest when it comes to objections with the passing of Advocate Ngome Zulu. You see, sometimes Nisi might say something. These are some of my predictions, or should I say observations. Nisi might say something, but he needs, background singers. And, Ramasipili and Nxumalo, they don't really come up front. They just like to sing the bass line. Umshololo is queen, okay? She will be like, objection, my lord. That is unfair. This is a trial by ambush. But if she's not in the courtroom and we have Umyegi, and I'm not disregarding their skills and capabilities. You see, when you're going up against a strong force, you also need a strong, high bass sounding advocates. They like to be in the background, okay? Don't talk to me, I'll talk to you when you talk to me, kind of thing. So I don't see them objecting. So it will really be Umnisi being on his own, which is why I say Umshololo must be inside Phakathi tomorrow and onwards. Okay, drop a 2 if you agree with me. But let's continue these comments. We have Dan saying, not even that, but of all objects, can you tell me to be stolen was the mythical OB book. Let's talk about the OB books for a second. We had on another channel over here, on my colleague's channel, we had a whole former police minister saying, and you know what, I don't want people to say that I'm misquoting a whole former police minister.
There are damn good police and there are police that are rotten.